How's everybody doing? My name is Kurt Friedrich. I'm the owner-driver for CFRacing, and welcome to our fourth post-race winning video of the 2025 racing season. Yes, we did win a race this past weekend, but we'll get into that in a little bit. First off, I want to start by thanking my family, Malou, Ty, and Tad, for their support, especially Malou for helping me out in the shop, getting ready for the races, and all her hard work at the track, helping to prepare for practice, qualifying, and the races at the racetrack. And then also, Tad and Ty, they're pretty much just running around playing the whole time, but they're still here. They're at the track with us. Wanted to give a big thanks to our sponsors, Gems by Denny on eBay. Gems by Denny on eBay is an online sales website. Basically, they sell cheap, loose gemstones and cheap, loose settings for buyers who want to put a little bit of their customized personal touch to their jewelry pieces. They can pick out what they want and put it together themselves for that personal touch. So please check out their website for any of your jewelry needs. Also want to thank TNT Stocks. TNT Stocks is a YouTube channel that I created. Basically, it's a simulation of day trading, live day trading stocks. And so check them out. It's got a bunch of useful information. It is really for entertainment purposes only, but hopefully if you are interested in day trading, you can get some useful information out of it. Also, Quick Signs, they help me out with ordering the decals. They do a lot of great work for me getting these decals, and I'm glad to help promote their business. I also want to thank Black Hat Speed for the go-kart. They build the go-kart engine that I run. We bought it from them, and they do a pretty good job. No complaints on the engine part there from them. So big thanks to them. And also, lastly but not least, I want to thank you all, the fans, for continuing to watch these videos, continuing to like these videos, post on Facebook, and just follow along and be part of this journey we have in hearing our story when it comes to racing these go-karts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start talking about the race events. One thing I talked about in the pre-race video is I wanted to try and mess around a little bit with the front hub spacing. So the first practice we went out, conditions were very similar to the previous week. So I started the same as I did the previous week. For the first round of practice, everything was feeling fine, just kind of getting comfortable and used to being in the seat again, and just filling out and seeing what the kart is feeling. When it came to the second round of practice, I made that adjustment. Same thing, it seemed to be responding, no complaints there. I was pretty satisfied with how it was handling practice, and seeing that the track was good in 1 and 2, but it was like speed bumps in 3 and 4 from all the rain and everything that we got for the past weekend. Throughout the past week. So with that, when it came to how that change felt, I pretty much said I was going to keep it like it was, no reason to switch it back. So then when we went into qualifying, then I went and started playing with air pressures again to try and work and deal with those speed bumps that were in 3 and 4. So when it came to qualifying, they basically, excuse me, they did time trial qualifying for this week. For a Hobby 375, we qualified 3rd out of 5, and then for Hobby 400, we qualified 4th out of 5. Then when it came to the race, now let's start talking about the races. This is where things started getting exciting. So I got my phone here to kind of track where I was, because there was a lot of back and forth going on in this race, the first one, and I really don't remember everything that was happening because it all happened so fast. So this will kind of help me follow along. So on the start, pretty much settled in, follow along with the guys in front of me. Moved up, and first and second, they were right there in front of me battling out. The second place was making a move on first place, and I pulled up behind him and pushed him along and worked past him to get into to second place. And in a few laps after that, the guy that I just passed, he passed me right back by. And then, while I said turns 3 and 4 were like speed bumps there, but it seemed like in this race everybody was having trouble in turns 1 and 2, because then that guy, he didn't slit up the track and crashed into the wall, not the wall. There is a wall, but there's tire barriers in front of the walls to help soften the blow. So he crashed out of the race. So then when we restart, now I'm in second place. I'm thinking to myself, man, I know I can get this guy in the lead. I know I can get him in the lead. We restarted, and then another guy from behind us, he passed by me about halfway through the race, and then a few laps after he passed by me, he did the same thing. 1 and 2, he slid up the track and into the tire barrier he went. I was kind of surprised. Like, I was doing fine in 1 and 2. I was really struggling in 3 and 4, and they're crashing in 1 and 2. So, but I was like, okay, well, if they're going to crash in 1 and 2, and I'm fine in there, I'll just keep working on 3 and 4, and when they wipe out, I'll take their spots. So then on the final restart, which was about halfway through the race, yeah, a little bit less than halfway through the race, restarted, still in second place. The leader kind of pulled away from me a little bit, and I'm thinking to myself, man, come on, get this guy. I know I can get this guy. I know I can get this guy. And he keeps pulling away. Well, I'm still struggling in 3 and 4, and then my mindset was, all right, let's figure out what I can do in 3 and 4. Let's just work this 3 and 4. Let's stop worrying about catching the leader. Let's figure out how I can get through 3 and 4 faster. I knew what I needed to do, and I knew what I was doing wrong. Let's work on doing it, getting through that turn, and getting through those speed bumps the way that I should be. So I worked on that, and then with that, I noticed that the leader was no longer pulling away from me. In fact, I felt like I was closing in on him a little bit. All I would have needed was maybe another caution, but it never came out, so we ended up finishing that race second out of 5. So pretty eventful for the first race. Let me pull up the next race, Hobby 400. And then here's where things got fun. Not that they weren't fun before. So I started this race in 4th place, and immediately on the start I picked up 2 spots pretty much on the first lap, where the leader, the second place guy went by, I got right into 3rd place and then passed by the second place guy all in the same lap because they were battling side by side. And from that point, I pretty much was just working on trying to keep pace with the guy in the lead. And then the 3rd place guy, he then came back, passed me again, caught back up to me, passed me again. And as he slid up the track, and I passed him back, so we kind of went back and forth with about halfway through the race. Finally, I took that position from him, started pulling away, but I knew he was still right behind me. But now I'm catching the leader, and I'm closing in, and I'm looking to see where he's weak and where I'm weak. He's strong, where I'm strong, and I pretty much came to the conclusion that I was not going to pass him coming out of turn 4 after going through those bumps. I would get close to him, I'd lose air on the nose, and the cart would just push up the track. And then in 3 and 4, it seemed like we were pretty much equal. At least that's the way it looked from my driver's seat. Well, then on one of the laps, I'm right on his back bumper, and in one of the laps coming out of 4, he slid up the track, and I hit it just right. I was able to get position on his inside, beat him going into the first turn, and take the spot from him. And then after that, there was about just a handful of laps to go, about 5 laps to go. And just from the experience racing these cars before, knowing that with the draft, I knew that, and they were close on speed, I knew he was going to come back. I knew he was going to use the bumper, keep pushing me, and he did. He kept coming up, pushing me, using the bumper, trying to push me into turns, trying to push me out of his way. And I went, coming out of the corners, I was blocking as best as I could. As egregious as I was blocking, if it was early in the race, I wouldn't have done that because I'm just asking to get wrecked. But at this point, we're at 3, 2, 1 laps to go. I'm not giving up this lead. I'm not giving up this win. And then on the last lap, going into 3 and 4, I felt him pushing me again. I'm getting sideways through the corners, and then come down the block. I'm coming out of 4. He still pulled alongside me. And it was pretty much, you could almost call it a photo finish. I guess I had just a little bit of a nose out in front of him to the point where when we came back around the track, after the race. I'm looking at the corner worker and trying to get an acknowledgement like, hey, did I win this thing? Did I win this thing? And he gave me the thumbs up. Hey, yeah, you won it. So it was a thrilling finish. They were really doing everything they could do to bump me out of the way. I feel like for those who are watching, I feel like that we gave them a good show. I hope that they enjoyed it. I hope that it's something for them to talk about during the week, about the race that they saw and the effort that we put in getting the win. I got a lot of congratulations from some of the people and a lot of good stories to talk about. So really proud of what we were able to do. Really thankful for all the help in getting this win, and yeah, just really glad to go ahead and check this off the block. So it was just really a whole lot of fun. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our goals for this weekend. I think we checked all these blocks. We were competitive. We were definitely competitive. We were consistent. We consistently went to the front. And we finished up front. Second place and a first place, really good for the weekend. Really glad for what we were able to do. So our next race is going to be in a few weeks. It's going to be at the Margarettsville VDKA race. So we're going to race the clone engine there. And yeah, we'll see what we do with that one. It's been a struggle with that one, but I think we can build on some of the things that we've learned and hopefully become more competitive than we have been. So with that being said, we're still looking for a primary sponsor. I got some stickers of our flags, U.S. flag. My wife's from the Philippines, Philippine flag, and I'm from North Carolina. Got those flags here on the front, but I keep those just because I don't want to bare body on the go-kart. But if anybody's interested in getting a little bit more exposure for your brand, please let us know. We'd be glad to help promote your business and get a little bit more exposure for you. And just remember, you're not just putting a decal on our go-kart, you're considered a member of our team. Again, I want to thank Jim's by Denny on eBay, TNT Stocks, and Quick Signs for all their continued support. Big thanks to Cameron Wood and his group, especially Tim Hammock. Tim Hammock and I were always trading back. I'm telling him what I've got going on, he's telling me what he's got going on, making suggestions for each another, and they've all just been a big help in helping us get this win. And then last but not least, I want to give a big thanks to my wife Malou, again, for all the help she does here at the shop, at the track, and also filming these videos. So we'll see you all in a few weeks for the next video. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, comment, rate, share, all of the above. See you in a few weeks. Until then, take it easy.